this one, my cousin, he was two and a half years older than I. And then at 17,
Yeah.
his mom signed for him to go in the Navy because he was too young. And she had a bunch of stepchildren that she cared more about, and she told him.
Now, who was his mother?
Sonny was my Uncle Larry's first child.
Okay.
And Uncle Larry's the one that drove the taxi.
My Uncle Larry, not your Uncle Larry. My mom's brother, mom's older brother. 3
Okay.
years older. And so he went in the Navy, and while he was still like within the first 6 weeks, I think, of being in there, they sent him to a ship in San Diego, and he was being trained as a boiler man. So he was in there for some reason that he was left momentarily by himself, and something in the engine room exploded, and the fire was like instant everywhere. And instead of going straight up the ladder to the ladder, which anybody would have expected, he stayed there trying to put it out, which he didn't know how to put it out.
Mark, seriously?
And they didn't know that he didn't run immediately. So when the alarms went off for the fire, they immediately took those hoses and started filling the hole, they called it
The hole?
hole, with foam. And the foam suffocated him. And somewhere I've got a copy of his obituary that briefly mentions it. Of course, it doesn't mention our side of the family because she told him that his name was Matthews. It was not. It was Miller. His name was Lawrence Edward Matthews. I mean, Edward Miller. And she said Matthews when they did the obituary. It made Grandma so mad she would like to rip my head off.
And the difference between Matthews and Miller was because he was the stepson?
He was her step. She had remarried. She had been a Miller. She had divorced Uncle Larry, married a Mr. Matthews, lived in a ritzy mansion on Eastern Parkway. She didn't want anybody to think that she had a kid before she married him. So she passed him off as Matthews.
Even though his dad was your Uncle Larry.
His name was Willie Miller. Because my Uncle Larry said he would never give up paternity, never give up his right. But she took it. That is my mama at 2.5.
Oh, that is awesome.
And her birth name was Lizzie Ethel.
I have no clue.
And she lived at Rio at that time. I can't remember the name of the place that no longer exists also that she was born, but anyway. Now that is my Grandpa Jones, and he's holding my dad and his older brother Gilbert. So this one is Daddy, and that's Gilbert. And Daddy, I can't see it. I'm half blind. But supposedly Daddy's holding up a little finger showing that he's my nose. That's my grandma. She was born Grace Lee Garrett. And that's my mama's graduation from Shawnee Girls High.
Doesn't that look like Aunt Becky?
Yeah, I see it.
You can look through them all you want to. That's Mom and Dad at Anderson College sitting on the railing. And the one that took that was, what's her name at Largemont that was all the time going on trips for the Red Cross. She would come back and tell about the latest country she had been to helping because she was a Red Cross one of the top people they sent. Anyway, she took it. She said they were just floating. That was before they were even engaged. And that's Mom and Dad. That's in front of the college. And that's their wedding picture. And this one is Janie Ornder.
How
She was a
about
little
that?
flower girl.
Who's that?
Janie Ornder, I actually went to her house earlier this year. She's getting ready to go to assisted living if she hasn't already after Paul died.
I didn't even see Holden within that dog's house. Tell me that.
That's Mom and Dad and her parents, well, her mother and her brother Bill. I think it's Bill. What did she say it is? Yeah, no, that's Uncle Larry. They came to visit Mom and Dad.
That's the
At
taxi
college.
driver?
He's like grabbing on his pattern at that point.
This is the one who fathered the one who was in the Navy.
What's that?
I'm telling you,
That's the taxi driver?
there's so many times I want to
The taxi driver?
Like, seriously, I want
If it doesn't affect the play,
Among other
they weren't getting the ball
talents,
either. I don't
he,
see the
he worked until retirement. He worked for Burroughs Adding Machine Company too.
No.
And that's Grandma. Yeah, he lived in Cincinnati for many years working for Burroughs. And then after he had already lost, because, you know, his son, Sonny, had already died. And he had married again and had 3 kids, a little girl, Judy, and Dave and Steve. Well, the wife that he married, Betty, there's something familiar about this name. She was a lousy drunk and a lousy mother. And he was at work, night shift. She was supposedly taking care of the 3 babies. And I mean, they were you know, like a baby in a crib and another baby that probably was in a crib and then one 3 years old. She got aggravated. I guess she couldn't get him to sleep or something. And started throwing things all around in their little trailers and screaming and yelling and carrying on. So the neighbors reported her and the police came. The police came to see what's going on. The neighbors are concerned. While they're in there checking on the babies, she leaps out of the trailer into the police car and took off up through Indiana. Oh yes. Needless to say, after that, he had full custody of the children, got his divorce. She was told she could stay on the Ohio side, he was to stay on the Kentucky side. So that's how that ended. Oh yes, it's really good. If you're going to steal a car, steal a police car. They buy everything. They're loaded.
Well, I can't imagine there's too many people that, unless you knew that it was stolen, you probably aren't going to get pulled over for going
This
too
is
fast.
Daddy with his daddy.
Oh my gosh.
That's right there. That's
And
right.
his daddy was about 3/4 Choctaw and partly
Oh wow.
Iroquois.
Look at that.
I can't remember for sure. But anyway,
What's TA?
he looks like a chief to me.
I could see
No
it.
shot there.
What's TA?
T.A. Thomas Andrew, but everybody always called him T.A. Andrew.
That was a big hit.
Yes,
That
that
was a nice hit.
preacher T.A. is going to be there. He's going to be good. And there they are. That's my grandma. And that's Wendell that went on to be an attorney. Well, after he died, pastoring the church, they asked her if she would take over and be their pastor, and she said, well, I've never been ordained, and they said, we'll take care of that tomorrow. So she went ahead and finished. They were both ordained ministers, and she finished pastoring the church. So she kind of got tired of it and went to live closer to her daughter. So, but anyway, that was at Pine Grove. And that is Daddy's sister, Florence. And that's Florence's son, Charles Ray. And Charles Ray was the sweetest thing in the world. He was just so caring and took care of her. Well, let me tell you something. I'll tell you a funny story about this. My mother could not abide smokers. I mean, even going down the street and she saw somebody smoking a cigarette, she was like her to say, you know that's going to kill you. So anyway, my Aunt Florence knew how she felt about it, but she had smoked for many years and tried everything trying to quit and could not quit. So when Charles Ray said, you know what, y'all are getting older, you don't know how much longer your brother and his wife are going to be there, we need to go up there and visit them. And they had a little travel trailer, so they said, you know, we won't be any problem. We can sleep in the trailer in the driveway, and, you know, we'll just share times together and have a good visit. So she said, okay. Well, what Mama didn't know for, I guess, several days was that she was using patches trying to keep from having to smoke. And then every now and then she just couldn't stand it and she'd go outside and smoke. Well, one morning she didn't come into breakfast and Mama said, I've got breakfast almost ready. Where's Florence? Well, she doesn't feel too good. Mama said, well, why? What's the matter? Did she catch something? I hope it wasn't my cooking last night. Well, no. I think she finally put too many patches on. Mama said, what patches? What do you mean, thinking of patches in her clothes? And he said, she's got patches all the way up her arms, all the way across her chest. She had me put them on her back. She's got them all the way down her leg. And she still wants a cigarette. He said, I think it's made her sick.
How old were you when you had shingles?
And Mama, do you think?
She was one. She was one. She wasn't even